Hi guys, it's Les here over in West Yorkshire at the Rock Room. What I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be looking at this tile saw. Now, I've never owned a tile saw, I've never used a tile saw, so this is my baptism, if you like, into tile sawing. And I got this not for cutting tiles, but for cutting stones, so that I can cut pebbles in half and take slices of stuff, things like that. Now, I looked at, because there's a hell of a range of these things, so many brands and so many qualities of these, it's quite daunting really. I settled on this one because it seemed to be the most robust. It got a powerful engine, so it's one of the more powerful ones. It's a 10-inch blade on there, I think, or it might be 8-inch, I'm not too sure. But the most important thing for me is that it will cut 40mm deep, which is one of the deepest ones on the market for this price range. Speaking of which, it was £149.50 delivered, so I don't think that's such a bad price, because I've seen these for a lot more. And it's actually a NORTON CLIPPER, otherwise known as Flexvolt, TT200. That's the model of it. Another nice feature of this is it comes with its own case, and it's quite a hard case as well. So once you finish with it, you've got somewhere to store it. Because that's another thing. I mean, it's like in the kitchen, isn't it? You get all these blenders and all this kind of stuff, but it's all out everywhere, isn't it? And it starts to get in the way. But this, you know, in a box. So this particular one, incidentally, I purchased from what's it called? The Tool Shed in the UK. So it comes in this wrapper thing, it's like a sleeve. Gives you the various specs in it and that. Put that down there. Show you this. It's a little lift and drop for your catch. And that's what's in. You can see that. That's obviously a mitre of some description for pushing it across. That's your guard. We've got paper on it. Get rid of that. There's a piece, takes 2 minutes to activate your guarantee. A nice big bag of silica gel to keep it all dry. Just got a sticker on it, I'll just lift it out. Put it over here in a second. So that's your box, look. It's quite a robust thing, isn't it? It's not thin, cheap plastic, it's a proper, proper quality bit. You've got a screwdriver in here, so you've got the tools built into the lid, so that's pretty neat. Couple of spanners, look. So that's a really nice case, isn't it? I mean, you pay good money just for a case like that. Let's get a look at this machine. Bring him back. What have we got inside? We've got the cable to plug in it. Got my manual. A little plug. Plug on a chain. I don't know if you can see that yet, they plug on a chain. That's for plugging in there, so that your water stops in. You've got a knob here. So that's nice. So it's got that angle ability on both sides, isn't it? You've got a locking mechanism here as well, which is nice, so that you've got to unpick it. There, the little metal key there, you have to pull that. Once you've loosened these, you have to pull that from both sides, and then you can lift it, otherwise it's on a ratchet. So that's for obviously doing your angle cuts. And it goes up to, I think, 45 degrees. If I can do it. You have to turn it like it's like a little key. You pull it and turn it. To be. Oh, there. That's pretty nice, isn't it? I'm going to be using it on the flat, mainly it's going to be on the flat, so I'll just tighten them back up. Now interestingly, the blade's already installed, and it's the first one of these machines I've seen with the blades already on it, which is pretty nice. It saves your job, doesn't it? This piece here, you can lift that catch, and then you can slide it along, or you can just take it off. So that's pretty neat. I'm not going to really need that myself at the minute. Yeah, I've got measuring facilities down both sides. Just peel this sticker off. It says. This sticker is a swine to peel off, so I'll have to wash that. That's got your warranty information on it. I would have liked to have seen a better kind of glue used on that sticker. You've got plastic bits of your measuring. That's about it really, there's not much more to show you, is there? Here's what it says outside. It actually says on here, NORTON CLIPPER. That's what I was saying about NORTON CLIPPER and Flexvolt. It's the same one. I don't know which company bought who out. So you might see it marketed as either a NORTON CLIPPER or a Flexvolt. It's all the same. I'm pleased with that. It's a plastic body, but again it's not cheap plastic, but it just feels like it could be brittle plastic, so if you drop this I think it'd crack. You know, it would have been nice if that had been a slightly rubberised plastic, you know what I mean? You've got a carry handle outside as well, just make sure that's locked. So you pick it up and carry it around with your hand, that's a nice feature. That's the underneath. And you've got an on-off switch. You've got an on-off switch, which has got them rubber touch feel buttons on them, you know, so it's waterproof. Obviously this tray here fills up with water, so you keep your water in there. You can have a hose pipe, because it's going to use some water this. You can have a hose pipe constantly dribbling in there, so I think I'll design a little 3D printed clip to hold the hose pipe in there, because you know they have a tendency, when they're short, they have a tendency to want to go where they want them. So if I create a little clip to hold that in there, that would be grand. I'll upload that file for you. So yeah, that's about it really. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it outside, set it up on this table, and then we'll resume this video outside with some rocks. See you in a sec. Right, so I've brought it outside now, we've got it all plugged in, and I've got it on a nice sturdy table. And I've got a couple of rocks here that I'm going to try cutting up. We've got some picture jasper, picture stone, which actually feels like sandstone, but it's got a lovely whirls in it of sandy colours and stuff like that. I've got a nice piece of blue lace agate that I wanted to just basically clean it up, get rid of some of this crud on top. You should be able to see this, what I'm on about here, look. I've also got a lump of lapidary, or agate. I keep forgetting them two words, get them mixed up. Anyway, I've got a piece of that that I want to cut some slices through, and I just want to test cutting this pebble. Bearing in mind I've never used any of this before. Now, the important thing is, or another important aspect is, I've read the manual. Right, it does come with a good manual, it tells you all about it. Read that. It's pretty straightforward. So I've read that. I've also got a mask for any dust, although the water should be controlling that, and some safety goggles, or glasses, safety glasses. I've no idea what the difference is between safety goggles and safety glasses, but anyway, that's what we do. The other thing I've done is I've installed this little guide, so I can take a 20 centimetre slice through a pebble. It's just basically I want to see what it's like at cutting. I'm not doing anything as such, experimenting. As for the water, I've got a bit of a hose pipe I connected to my tap, and it just fortunately fits nice and snug behind that there into the well at the bottom, so it's holding itself there. And you fill this water level up to just below surface. It says 5mm below the upper lip, but I don't know if that's this upper lip or this upper lip, because there's actually two upper lips. If that makes sense. So I'm going to fill it up to the second one. I've made sure I've got my little rubber plug in. Get the goggles ready. Oh, I'm all excited. Right, so I'm going to turn it on. But something straight away before I actually use it, I'm going to show you something. Now, this safety guard, obviously, it's a good thing. It's intended to save any shards and things coming at you. But the trouble is, when you're looking at it from this angle, you can't see what you're doing because this piece interferes with the view of the blade. Now, with a tile, it's no big issue, is it? Because you're going to be mainly cutting square edges, so you don't really need to see it, do you? But when you've got like a pebble and you're holding it, you've got to be able to see what you're doing. So what I'm actually going to do is remove this guard. And I'll show you the blade then. Just a couple of screws. And you have to just retain this in case you need it in some future time. Right, so I've taken off the guard, and you want to retain the two screws and the little plate that holds it down. It's kind of a clamp. Retain that obviously because you're going to be using that. Put this in here. So we've now got an exposed blade, as you can see. So we can see what we're doing now. And by that, what I mean is, like now I know what I'm cutting because I can see it. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'll get this out of the way. There's a little lever. I've got my lever at this side on this guide. Pop it towards you, and you can either just lift it off, which is what I'm going to do for a second. So I've got a nice clean area. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in here. Now we've already just attached that hose, which just fell out because we had a customer here. Back. Like so, and the tap on gently. See what happens. Right, so we've got water coming in there. Now, depending on how much water it's going to use, I might leave the tap running just gently. So it's just still coming in. Look. I don't know if you can see that. The water is now filling up. I've got the power on. Now I suspect I'm actually going to get wet through here. You know, because we've no longer got a guard on this. Now there's no teeth on this. You can see that there is no teeth, so it's not like a traditional saw, which would rip your fingers apart. This one is more like a nail file. You know, it's smooth, but it's gritty, just like a nail file. So it'll cut your finger if you hold it up to it. You know, keep it on like, but otherwise it'll sand your finger. Now I don't know what grit this is. It doesn't. I don't think it said in the book, and I can't see the wheel. We haven't taken it all apart. But it's now, I can feel water on the blade. So I can turn that water off, and then we'll see how much it actually uses. Now the other important thing is my goggles. I'll just chuck them on. And this. The mask. Now then, I suspect I'm going to end up literally wet through. So this is going to be good fun. I think this will be good fun. I don't know, I've never had this one on. Is that right? I think that's right. Good, you can't hear me now, can't you? Right, let's have a give it a go. Turn him on. As you can see, a lot of water's coming out of that. So, I'm going to have to figure something out to stop it, basically, aren't I? Otherwise everything's going to get wet through. Best way of doing that. I need a small blade. I need a small cover, which I suppose I can 3D print, to replace the main guard, but will catch the water. Do you know what I mean? The water that's being flung up here, which is obviously attached to the blade. If I can get that to hit part of a guard, that should catch most of that water, shouldn't it?
But at the minute it's really raining like, you know, like a good one. Let me show you again. So there's a hell of a lot of water coming out of there. And I'm also steaming up with the goggles. I've got 2 pair of glasses on and goggles. So I'm afraid this goggle's coming off because I can see no dust coming out of that. Oof, can't do it that. I'll keep goggles on though, but I'm not keeping that on. I suppose that's more appropriate if you're doing tiles and things. So what I'm going to do is work out how I'm going to stop that water really. How am I going to stop it? Maybe if I can modify that stand, that go on, that guard. See, it needs something like this, but only up to here. Do you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to design one of these on 3D printer that will replace this black plastic bit, keep the metal wear, replace the black plastic bit with a much shorter one to about here, or maybe even just chop this off. Do you know what I mean? Just whoosh, chop that off. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to be back in a second. Right, so what I've done, I've chopped that much off the end of this guard so that hopefully it'll catch the water, but I'll still see the blade. We'll find out in a minute, right? Anyway, so I'm going to just reattach this. Famous last words. Didn't that work? It's catching on that though, isn't it? Let's have a try. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. That's doable. It's all going to get wet through over here, but it doesn't really matter. Once we've got the tap running under here, it doesn't matter how much is coming out as long as we keep it balanced. Yeah, stay well away. Right, so now we've got that fettled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my goggles back on. I'm actually going to move this camera back a bit because it's getting sprayed. So we'll move over here. Right, goggles back on. And I'm ready for my bath. So I'm going to try this this picture jasper first. Basically what I want to do with this is I want some pieces that's that shape. You know, hopefully that's not going to be a crack. I don't think it will, I think it's just another one of them lines. But I'm trying to see, do you see this circle here? It's a little bit like the one that's there. I'm hoping that inside I should get some circles that's this kind of way. I don't know if I will or not, but that's the plan. So I'm not using the guide or anything because I'm just going to do this by eye. I'm basically going to tidy that end up first and then take a slice. So let's have a crack. Woo! So that's the cut that I've made. Look, and that's the circles that we're hoping to get. You know, going that way makes a hell of a mess. But it's doing a good job. Now, what I've noticed is because of this, is that because it's down here, when I come to this part, that's catching the brick and it's not letting it in. So when I come to design this piece, what I'll do is I'll put legs on it so that it lifts it up. Do you know what I mean? So I'll design this with a curved surface here, which will ride over your stone, but also with a little leg to keep it up. But certainly a little short one like this is working for what I need, except when I get up here, I might go like this. Now I'm in no real danger of cutting my finger as such on this, other than the speed it's going at and the fact that it's gritty. So at least you got that in mind. But that cut is pretty smooth. So let me have another go, see if I can cut another chunk. That way this time. Right, so despite getting wet through, despite I'm bending down because the camera's moving, despite getting wet through, it has worked a dream like, hasn't it? On this picture jasper, I've got the lovely sections. I mean, you could rearrange them little like diamonds. Lovely, isn't it? So what I'll do with them is I'll probably tumble them, but what I can also use this for is turn it on. A bit of shaping. So if you find any rough bits, take them off. Brilliant. Right, so now I'm going to try and take this crap off this piece of nice blue banded agate. Get rid of this. Put a bit more water in now. What I'll do, I'll turn the tap on again now. It's really slow. Right, so I've got the tap on. I think we'll know when there's water hitting the blade again because it'll start to come out anyway. So I'll give it a go. So that's a lovely chunk of blue lace agate, which I'll go on to tumble. If I wanted to, I might take some slices off that actually, because it's a lovely pattern in there. I'm going to try it. So I could now take chunks off it if I wanted to make pendants or whatever. Right, let's try this larvicite or larcovite. It's the one I can never remember. I'm just going to cut this end off first. So that's a slice through the rock. You can see all the faceted faces on there. Blue flash there. I don't know if it's picking it up. Can you see that blue flash? There's actually quite a bit of blue in that. That will tumble and be beautiful. Again, we've got that shape, so it's already kind of pendant shaped anyway, isn't it? So anyway, I'll be playing with that again. The last one I'm going to try is this chunk of jasper, and see if it'll cut this. I'm only going to cut it now. This is actually banded. I think you can see on that. Close-up camera. It's banded with red bits going that way. So I don't want to cut it that way as well. I'm not going to get any pattern. If I cut it that way, I'm going to get them lines again, aren't I? Again, that's the theory. Let's try it. Like so. It went through that like butter. Again, that's the pattern we're looking for. You know, with the lines that are going horizontal in it. That's the angle to cut. It's a little bit like cutting meat. You know, if you cut it the right angle, you get the grains end on. If you cut it at the wrong angle, it's tough as old boots because you're eating it against the with the grain line. It's the same with this. If I'd have cut it that way, I wouldn't have seen any of that. Anyway, that concludes our little video on this excellent little chopping machine. This is the Norton Clipper TT200 EM. An excellent little piece of kit. I am going to get covered in it every time I use it, as you can see. But it's not a problem. It's just part of the game, like, isn't it? So it don't bother me at all. But what I am going to do is I'm going to redesign this plastic part, and I'm going to redesign it so that it's lifted up, so that your rocks can go under it, you know, without having to lift it up halfway through chopping like I've just been having to do. And that's because it's dropped to the bottom. So it's basically, it'll have legs in it like that. And also I'll put a little tiny flange at front, little lip at front to catch any extra water. So it's basically, you can see your blade, have some protection, but stop all that ridiculous waterage. Anyway, that's about it for this video, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing me get wet through. The device itself is absolutely excellent. It's great for the purpose I got it for. This is a standard blade that came with it. You can actually buy a lapidary thinner one, which is only about 1 millimetre thick. So if you put in expensive material, you don't waste as much with the cut. For me, it doesn't really matter. It's neither one thing or the other. Get these off now. Here we are. Yeah, anyway, excellent, 149 quid. Leave your comments. Don't criticise me if you think I've done it wrong. I'm not showing you as being a professional like this. I'm showing you it's been the first time I've ever used a saw, one of these. And it's not even just for what it was intended for. I'm using it for this. And it's done an absolutely excellent job. So it's robust, it's solid, it's got a nice case. I'm going to hose it all down now and clean it out. After I've tied it to these, of course. So anyway, that's it for this video, folks, and I shall catch you later.